Well, hello there. How y'all doing? I realized, to my embarrassment, that I had not made a video showing how to reshape a stabilizer that had come down too far into the edge. Now this razor has already been modified, and I don't have any decrepit razors hanging around that need reshaping, so I will show you the theory of it and let you figure it out. How about that? This is a diamond plate, a very well broken in extra coarse rather. I'm sure you can see it's been used and abused. Now, let's pretend that this stabilizer is down here in the edge and it's hitting the hone when you lay it on here. Okay? So now you have to fix that, because it'll rock your blade up like so, unless you work really hard to work it down, and then by the time you get to your finishing hones, it'll be back raising your heel up, causing you issues. So you need a diamond plate or a diamond file or a really fast and hard 1000, maybe 600 grit water stone, or an India fine stone, or an India medium, or even a coarse stone, but I'd say stick with medium. So you take your diamond plate, let's say, you set your heel on it at an angle, okay, and then you rub it while rocking. You see in this is the motion, like this. And you turn it, and you go the other way, rocking, always moving. You're trying to round it. You following me? Rock, rock. If you're using a water stone, I recommend using pressure on the pull stroke. You'll figure it out. Because if you don't, you'll dig a furrow in your water stone. And lightly lighten up. And you should have a nice rounded stabilizer region. Is that tracking? Okay. You don't ever want your stabilizer to work down into the bevel. Okay? Sometimes if you get a razor that doesn't have a bevel, like this one doesn't, by the time you cut one, you may have to readjust the heel a little bit. Don't be afraid of doing that. A few minutes doing this can make the difference between a set heel and other issues. And then when you get done with that, move on to a little fine diamond plate and polish out the deep scratches. Or just get yourself a set of DMT cards, extra coarse and fine, and you can polish this up. I hope you get my drift. Whoops. I hope you get my drift. Oh, and might as well do some edge shaping. See how this from China, the end, this is going to kill me. I keep forgetting which side of the camera. The toe is lifted up. If you set the bevel, the toe's up here. It's rolled back. If you set the bevel, that end will never set because it's going to be off the hone. Lay it on here at a steep angle. Only do this if you're willing to take the risk. Okay? Don't do this on a new plate, and don't do this on an extra coarse plate. Don't do it on an extra coarse plate either unless you've got it broken in. look for a bead of light all the way up. And what you're doing is you're making it to where you use an X stroke. You can use a less of an, see, this is an exaggerated X stroke, but it's very unstable out here. That, shifting the pressure heel to toe, is a much less exaggerated X stroke. But if you haven't shaped the razor correctly, and you've still got it, the toe all ground up because it came from China, and though I've seen some vintages that were in much worse shape, it came from some third world or second world country or wherever. Who knows? Or just somebody who doesn't know how to grind a razor right towards the end. Straightened up. It's nice and straightened up now. The only downside is you now have to set the bevel with a vengeance. So, think it through, make your decision, and go with it. And there are things you can do. You can set it on a real coarse and start cutting the bevel in carefully. Look at this. I've got the spine up. I'm rolling the pressure heel to toe, and I'm taking a look. You can already see I've started cutting the bevel. Okay, flip it over on the other side. I did the same thing. I don't recommend dry honing, by the way, on a diamond. I'll have to clean this out. But what this will do is it'll stave your spine, and you can lower it as you go. And after you get that bead of light from here to here in the light, after it starts to diminish and disappear, then you can lay your razor down on its spine and set the bevel for real, okay? Getting that angle started is getting that pressure and torque towards the edge. That's a big deal. I mean, it takes time, obviously. And just keep a close eye on what you're doing. You're wanting to start that bevel. And then I can already feel the light has already pretty much disappeared. There's still a little left, but I can lay this on a 1,000 grit stone, such as this Nanny Wall Professional stone, 1,000 grit, and cut a fresh bevel. And I'll need to use less careful torque towards the edge, because I won't be honing on that coarse stone so long, and I'll preserve the spine. When you get out a nice vintage razor or a brand new razor and you go to setting a bevel after taking a huge chip out of it or something, if you don't really need to take metal off the spine, and you do, let's say it's 15 to 19 degrees, it's within that ballpark after you've remeasured it. If you take a whole bunch of metal off the spine, that's going to become very acute, but it's also going to look bad. So, just some tricks, things to help you honers. They're not my tricks, not all of them anyway. I've observed many better honers over my life, and I just try to memorize what they've done, and practice makes perfect. So practice. Buy some cheap ZYs or gold dollars and take the stabilizer off the gold dollar and hone. Get out there and have fun, folks. Let's bring this hobby back to life.